Hey guys, and welcome to the J&K show. The celebration has commenced. Indiana, they are the champions of the nation, of the country. Give them a round of applause. I can't wait for the movie to come out, Jay. I can't wait. It's going to be a great movie. And you know what? It's going to trump Rudy. That's what it's going to do.
Oh, don't say Trump, buddy. You're going to get us canceled.
The Rudy, this is like if Rudy actually played football the whole season and they won the national championship. That's what happened in IU. Instead of just playing one meaningless, stupid ass play and a stupid ass game, this is the whole thing. This is everything you could have hoped for and more. But when I was soaking it in, I don't know if anybody could hear in the background. They were playing fucking Mendoza's song by ABBA.
Yeah.
Fernando. It was awesome. I was like, fucking serenade that guy. He was,
Yeah.
for as much as ass he got whooped in this game, the play he
Oh,
made was all time. Take a picture. I told you at the time, put his signature on it. It's a poster, it's worth a bunch of money. You put it in a frame that you sell at the malls for a very high amount of money. That picture of him diving into the end zone after breaking what was an unbelievable hit he just
mhm.
absorbed. I
Yeah.
will remember that play for like ever. It gives me goosebumps. I couldn't even believe he could take that hit in that moment after all the hits he'd already taken.
Oh, yeah.
Just
That
crazy.
that needs to be a statue in front of the IU Coliseum. It just needs to be there.
Mm.
Who cares? Mark Cuban can pay for it. It was such an iconic. When you saw it happen live,
was like
was
this kind of.
yeah. It reminded me. You remember a couple years, more than a couple, but when Vic Ballard had that twisty dive into the end zone,
Yes.
it was like
Yes.
wow, that's going to be a very memorable play. But that was
Yeah.
just a random touchdown run against the Titans.
Yeah.
This is
Was it like a screen pass kind of down the
something like
sideline or
that,
something?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he just took off. But that man, when I saw that play happen and I saw him break that tackle at the 5, and it was just like he just kept going and dove and scored. I was like, man, that right there is the defining play of the game. There is no way Indiana's losing this game.
Yeah.
It was just one of those. It was the Stephon Diggs catch. It was just an iconic play that when you're watching it, it's going to be burned into your brain for the rest of your life. It's just one Jordan's last shot with the Bulls. It's so many things. Mendoza, what a tough son of a bitch, man. What a
Look,
tough fucking kid.
and the curse has lifted. Don't
Yeah,
you just like if
we
you're an
can heal
Indiana
now.
fan, it does. It feels like that the curse has officially lifted and that you feel
Yep.
like your teams could really compete and have a chance coming forward. It's like kind of Cubs curse kind of feeling. Like it feels like what an unbelievable moment. We finally did it. And like that relief that you feel like,
Yeah.
wow, like we were there now.
Yeah, yeah. From Hallie to Daniel Jones, and then you're kind of, man. I'd be lying if I said, in the back of my mind I wasn't worried. Like, is this Indiana sports curse going to continue, and are we going to get our hearts broken yet again?
Yeah.
By some bullshit tonight, and much relieved that Indiana just gutted it out the whole time. And it's not like it was. I mean, it was a good back and forth, but I mean, in the first half, you could just tell IU was the better team.
I think going back on it, we might look back at this game and look at it as one of the most unbelievably complete team championship wins that we may ever see. There
Mm-hmm.
was no star. The whole team was the star. And in all honesty, you could have gave game balls to so many guys. No one jumped off the stat sheet, but everyone showed up in their moments. And it was like the special teams touchdown and the tough nose running all game by Himby and Black. Just when you least expected it, they took it 8 or 10 yards, even though they were getting crushed at the line. A lot of times 3 yards or less, but then suddenly, boom, big 8 yard break, 10 yard break. And you're like, man, a draw play on 3rd and 8. They were not expecting that. Like they were just tough nose the whole game. The tight end made a couple crucial plays, lines up at fullback and gets a touchdown. I mean, you can point all across the board. Becker was unbelievable. His back shoulders, he just always goes in the air and he just tries to cradle that ball with his entire body if he can.
Yeah.
The
Oh
whole
yeah,
whole
he
thing.
definitely made sure to secure it. You know, and it's watching him emerge at these last few games, man. He has been one of the most, if not the most important receiver, just because of the plays he's making and the catches that he's been making. And I think him and Mendoza have mastered that back shoulder between the two of them. You know, you
Yeah.
can tell they're roomies, man.
I mean, Hoover. When next year, Hoover work on that back shoulder throw with Becker. It's money.
It
Fourth and
is.
5. And, kudos to the referees a little because I had some concerns in the game. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to make some blatantly bad calls late because right now they're not calling it. And it makes me nervous because we did the same thing. We'll get to it later in the NFL game. Hey,
Yeah.
you're getting called pretty well. And as soon as we thought it or said it, here come the
Yeah.
refs to ruin the game.
That was my fault. I take 100% responsibility for that.
So that'll be our next game. But they really did a good job allowing the hand fighting up to a point. Now you could have, I'll tell you, to be honest, you could have called holding on just about every third play, every third pass
Yeah.
on either side. I mean, the hand fighting was very lenient.
Yeah.
And I thought that their guy, I can't remember his name now, he got one PI on Surratt. I thought he got away with a few. That's pretty much all he did the whole game was grab and grab and grab. Did it with every receiver. But we had a few that they didn't call as well. And so I thought all in all, it was one of the most complete games from like every aspect. Like, what do you want? You want explosive plays? Miami had a few of those. You want special teams play? We had that. You want the drama late in the game drive to either win it or lose it? We had that. Like, it had everything. There was nothing Heisman moment. Like, there was nothing that you were missing out of this game. The drama, the stars, the celebrities, it had it all. I enjoyed this game about as much as I've ever enjoyed it. And I would have still been like, even if IU had somehow lost, I'd been like, what a game. Because if Carson Beck and them score a touchdown, I'm real disappointed. But the aspect of how the game was, I wouldn't change my opinion at all. It was one hell of a game.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it when they allow the guys to go out there and play. And, what I don't like is a referee standing right, like not even 10 yards behind the quarterback on a fake, getting legitimately targeted. And you could tell right after that. I mean, Cignetti was pissed. I was pissed.
That was the only thing in the game that was clearly a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that was the only egregious call that I saw the whole night. I mean, yeah, you could say there was a few holdings or a PI here and there that probably could have been called, but I would rather see the flag get held onto if it really didn't affect the play that much. Like if the ball was overthrown or underthrown and the guy's getting his arms getting held or he's holding him by the wrist, like, okay, you don't have to throw the flag on that. But to see the star player on Indiana take a crown down, ignore this, crown down, just launched right onto the fucking chin. It's like that is the most bogus call that I've seen just get looked the other way. We have seen so much less than that get called, and it has ruined somebody's game. So
yeah,
that's the only complaint I can have.
Yeah, I agree. When they watched it back, they pretty much said on there that's textbook targeting.
I was yelling at the TV the whole time.
Because the ball, if you guys saw, the ball was a read option handoff. He left it in the belly of Hemby. Hemby's taken off with the ball. The defender that came down, I believe it was the safety, he comes down, he watches the handoff, and he just stops and plants his foot and launches it into Fernando Mendoza, who does not have the ball. And I had argument today at work with a gentleman who said, well, Mendoza did take a couple steps towards him with the rhythm of the handoff. So if Mendoza was going to maybe lay a block, that guy was ready to clean him. And I was like, look, I'm telling you, when you watch that play, that player gave no fucks about whoever had the ball. And you just know it when you see it, when there's a mentality or there's a predetermination of, if I get my chance, I got to hit this dude, right? That's exactly how it looked. It looked predetermined before the game. If I get my chance, I'm hitting this dude because it could help us win the whole game. right? Especially if you take him out, right? Now we got his little brother in there to try to win the national championship. We've seen games in the past ruined by a quarterback being injured in a game, a Colt McCoy and things, and it's ruined the game. And that's exactly what that guy was going for, was a big hellacious hit. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt, but he wants to make his statement on there and rattle him. That's exactly what he did, because the ball, you could see he absolutely could have ran towards the ball and shed. He could have attempted to shed the quarterback who might try to block him, but it wouldn't have been a big deal. Mendoza wasn't going to get in his way. He didn't have any interest in the ball carrier. It was clear.
Yeah.
And then he got right under his chin.
Well, whoever you were arguing with is an idiot.
Absolute idiot. I'm telling you.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a ball carrier or if you're faking a rush attempt or not. If Mendoza did have the ball, that's still targeting. It's still textbook targeting. That's what that action is what they wrote the targeting book on.
Yes.
And if you don't call that, then I don't want to see targeting called anymore. I don't want to see it even be an option to be called anymore. I'm tired of seeing this whole, well, what player safety? They don't give a shit about the players. They just don't. I'm tired of them falling back on that as an excuse.
It's ironic because they had a player that was out for the first half, Lucas, because he targeted an Ole Miss. And I'll be honest, that's really not that bad compared to the Mendoza one.
Yeah, the one that he got ejected on, it wasn't. You could have probably swallowed the flag on that, but it was just. Yeah, right, but it wasn't as bad. No. It wasn't.
Dude's fallen, so it changes the trajectory of how you're going to hit him. So now you're hitting him higher in the head because he's falling. Mendoza was upright, launched right into his head.
There's some targeting calls that you're not going to be able to avoid because you've already put your body into motion to make the hit. Now, if the ball carrier spins or lowers their helmet, there's nothing you can do if your body is already in motion to make the stop. And that's what I wish they would look at. It's like, okay, the ball carrier moved this way, but this guy's already sold himself out to make the stop. So you can't help that. But last night, that was the premeditated shit. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hit this guy, and I'm going to send a message. He wasn't trying to hurt him, but he absolutely wasn't. He didn't give a shit. Yeah, he was trying to hit him and knock a little bit of sense into him. But I think that was Miami's goal last night, was to hit him and to get him uncomfortable, which is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to be egregious about it.
He had on his arms.
Yeah, he got some cuts on his face. Buddy got roughed up last night, but you know what? I mean, he literally put his life on the line for that game last night, and I think Fernando Mendoza was ready to die on that field last night, like quite literally. You have a lot of people that use that philosophy, but I think that's the first time I've seen somebody who would actually been like, okay, if I run for this touchdown, I'm going to die, but I'm going to do it because it's for us and it's for a national championship. And he's crazy enough to do it.
So talking other spots of the game, I thought for Miami, I thought that Fletcher's run that he broke free, my brain immediately was like, fucking little Derrick Henry taking off with those strides. Ain't nobody catching him.
I know.
I'm like, my goodness. Like, this looks like a big, strong, overall running back who, once he hits a seam, he's gone. And I'm like, well, damn. If he's that fast, he's a real problem. I'm glad to hear he supposedly is coming back to Miami. Watch out for Miami next year, depending on what the quarterback situation looks like. I mean, they have a good, talented team.
Yeah, I was actually quite proud of myself last night. I came up with a nickname for him, and I really hope it sticks. So, internet, do your thing. The Torso-pedo.
The Torso-pedo.
Because he's like all upper body, dude. I mean, it was just like, that's what reminds you of Derrick Henry. Is it's like from the waist up, it's just like, come at me, bro.
I know he doesn't skip leg day, but his body is shaped kind of
like a reverse pea.
Yeah, like, he don't, because that's why he's running so fast. He got some thick thighs, at running back, but it still just looks like he don't ever miss arm day.
He never. He always does his crunches. He does his neck rolls. He does his shrugs. One day a week he'll do squats.
I thought that
it's all right.
CJ Daniels flashed with them a little bit. I thought, well, they're getting a little help for Malachi Toney. We really did a good job on Toney for a lot of the game until late.
Until the third quarter, yeah.
Until late.
Yeah. And he just came on.
But Beck, He was visibly frustrated pretty much the whole game. Like you could
Hmm.
just tell that he was like, like I want more. He wants to complete more passes. He was, uncomfortable the whole game. He was getting time and there was no one open. And you could just
Yeah.
see it. He was very frustrated. I did think down the line on that drive, I was like holding myself like, please, like we got to get this stop. Like don't lose by one, right? Thank God for Signetti because when in that moment I thought, you beautiful son of a bitch, that fourth and goal that you went basically or 4th and 5, but
Hmm.
Mendoza changing your mind. He did it 2 times on that pivotal drive on fourth
Yeah.
down. First, they're out of field goal range a little. It's kind of in that weird territory, 40-yard line. You're like, they go to Becker on a back shoulder, huge play. Then they get close and they're like, man, we still don't want to settle for this field goal. And they call
You don't want
timeout
to settle for
again.
three. Yeah.
And I'm like, the balls on
Hmm.
Signetti. The balls. He got them eyebrows working
Huge
last
nuts.
night.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even believe I thought what a well coached game throughout.
Hmm. Oh, on
Two
both
for
sides.
2 for 2 on fourth down. That was the only drive he went for him. They punted the
Hmm.
ball. They played good defense. I mean, it just seems like he made every decision correctly. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think flawless game plans on both sides.
Yeah.
Miami fans, I mean, you feel for them because they lost in the national championship game, but I think they are going to be in great hands for the next 5-10 years.
They're back.
Yeah, the U is back. I mean, to see all the old school guys come back on that side, you had Ray, Michael Irvin, and all of his powdery goodness. You had a couple other guys. I think I saw there was like I can't remember his name, like Jeremy Shockey, like all the guys. Ed Reed was there,
Freaking
and
Jason Taylor's like their defensive guy over there hollering, running
yeah,
around. I'm like, this isn't fair. What the fuck is this? I didn't even know
yeah.
he was on their coaching staff.
Truth time. I thought it was the dude from Criminal Minds. I
Did
had no
you?
idea.
Him and Robert Sala had a baby, and that was who was.
Yeah, that's who it was.
But yeah, they have so many celebrities and so much from the 2000s. Some of the best players ever came from Miami
Hmm.
during that time,
Yep,
and so they're back. The
they are
mentality,
back.
what they played with. If they have their quarterback figured out, they're going to be involved at the end. They're going to lose no more than 2 games, maybe even only 1 game next year. Is my guess. ACC only has a few teams to really concern yourself with. Typically, there's a few, but not the whole conference. So they're going to
Hmm.
probably run that conference again next year. They'll probably correct their conference championship situation. I could absolutely not see them in the CFP again. So yeah, just because you lose in the national championship,
Yeah,
the culture, when you build a culture, ask Signetti if he thought he was going to be back here last year. He
no
absolutely would have
way.
said no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So
There, yeah, it was nice to kind of see because I like it when people get shit like you're not supposed to be here, blah blah blah. You guys don't deserve it. Notre Dame should have been. Notre Dame would have lost to Ohio State. They would have. They may have beat A&M in a rematch, but Notre Dame was not going to get past Ohio State. So I don't want to hear the Golden Domers talk their shit. They're going to anyway. Well, oh, you could have beat Indiana. You couldn't beat the team that Indiana just beat. So
hey, they were
quiet,
the last
shush.
team to do it. We haven't
Yeah.
lost since we lost to Notre Dame. Hey, thanks for waking us up.
Yeah, thanks for giving Signetti the motivation to get this team fired up and to keep them focused. So
Six
we,
games.
I think they do. The only thing that Notre Dame is owed is that probably the fact that they
Like
woke
you,
Indiana up and they gave Signetti's like, all right, this is what I got to do.
yeah.
So I'll give them credit for that. But other than that, I don't want to hear anybody talk crap. They're going to have Alabama guys. If we were to do it all over again, you would have probably lost 50-3. So it's all right. But yeah, Miami's back, and I think Cristobal is a hell of a coach. I mean, he's really really good. You're going to have kids commit to them now. You're going to have people want to transfer to Miami now.
The weather
Same with
is
Indiana.
nice in Miami.
It's nice in Miami.
There's
Yeah.
some NIL money you can get. There's a culture there that looks exciting and celebrity alumni.
Yeah.
Former
Porn stars in the
NFL.
stands.
What?
So
How did you know?
I mean, I don't know who she is.
How did you recognize her?
Never.
all the young adult men that are watching their game and they just like they see that and then their parents are looking at them.
Like, who the hell is that?
Who's that? You know exactly who that is.
You know who that is, Dad. Don't lie.
Yeah. Go Hoosiers. It is a great feeling to complete the story, finish the story. I'm excited for next year. We were talking about it before we started the show. It's, dude, college football, the landscape with everything now. It's like, who knew, like, just saying, hey, we're paying players, like letting that be known, it would change the landscape in a way that would make it unpredictable. Anybody, like, next year we might get Vanderbilt from nothing to win. Like, you don't really know now who's going to be the juggernaut or who's going to be a stud, and you're going to get to week 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're going to start to see some people that you're like, oh shit, this is a year they're going to be really good, and you don't know how far they can go or how they stack up, and you're going to have that now, and that just takes college football to a place of, I think it might be moving ahead of NFL, because we'll talk about it here in just a moment. NFL, some things are just not right. So, hey, commissioners in the pro sports right now are not doing all that great. There are obvious things needing fixed, and they're not doing it. So just saying, college sports is starting to get it figured out a little.
Yeah, I've been saying it for the better part of a decade now, that I just believe college football is up here, NFL is down here. I mean, it's just, you find yourself, your rosters change every year, and it's not, you got, you get NFL, of course, you get free agency and you get the draft, but there's not so much roster overturn, than there is in the college. In college, you can. I went from, in 2023, knowing every player on the Michigan roster, to going into 2024. It's like, who in the hell is that?
Yeah.
I don't recognize 80%. Yeah, and it's like you get this whole new batch. And it's like, all right, well, these guys are good together and everything. It's refreshing. It's not the same stuff over and over and over again, which sometimes consistency is great, but it does get stale on you, and you want a little bit more excitement. So, and I just think the college football rules are better than the NFL in most cases.
The overtime rules and stuff.
The overtime rules and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish NFL would kind of adopt some of those things. And there's some things in the NFL that college football should probably adopt. But I just think, in my personal, humble opinion, I do prefer college football.
Yeah. The idea, like, honestly, the targeting thing where you get suspended for a quarter or 2 quarters, it's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of different. Yeah. When you see it in the NFL, you're like, well, they're going to hand out a fine to some rich guy. But, like, in the college, it's like, when you have to win games and you can't really lose a game, it affects your standings. It makes everything mean so much more week to week to week. Everything feels like a rivalry, conference, almost playoff atmosphere. It just, what they've done is, if they've grabbed that drama in a bottle and they've been able to pour it week in and week out on each game of meaning, and they've been doing better at scheduling these out of conference games to kind of start the year when you have that lull before conferences start going week 5, week 6. They've been doing better job of scheduling some out of conference games that really show out for the national championship kind of vibe, and to, like, get you ready, and, like, this is how this season's going to be. And they started Texas, Ohio State, and it was a good, solid game. It was defensive driven. I think that college football just finally knows what they have, and now that they're allowing the players to talk about the wages that they are earning, because we know what we know. It's transparent, and it provides parity and unpredictability. And it's good to not know how everything's going to end. 4 of the 5 people last night picked Miami to win the game, so they can suck it. As Derek would have, Stranger Things would have said, they can suck a fat one.
Suck my fat one!
I cannot believe, out of 8.5, almost the whole panel, outside of an Indiana guy, picked Miami in an upset. They fell into this belief that was the way it was going to be. And it's like, oh, so what you're saying is, you're going to continue to go from week 1 to now to doubting IU and not treating them as this really good football team. Got it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. And that's what happened.
Yeah, give them their flat. I believe they've earned it. Cignetti has earned it.
Yep.
Just give him the lifetime contract. He can be there as long as he wants to be. And it's just such a beautiful thing to witness. Who's going to be the next Cignetti? I guarantee a lot of people are going to have their ears to the ground of these Division II and Division III schools. It's like, okay, this guy just won 3 straight Division II titles. Okay. He went to a really, really low rated, main school, turned them around, and then who's going to do it next? Who's going to do it next?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's always thinking, who's going to be the next Signetti? He's like, why can't you just sit back and enjoy this one for right now? Because it's so rare to see. He's so rare to see some guy go to Indiana, Pennsylvania, Elon, James Madison, and now he's in the losingest franchise in college football. Turn them around, and in the second year, have them win a national championship and only have 2 total losses in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
And we'll close this kind of with like the character. I feel like for Signetti and Mendoza, the character that they showed throughout this tenure, throughout this time period, it was so refreshing and nice to watch. Where they had a cockiness, but never really showboated. You could see it was like confidence. It wasn't gloating, and it was we do this for each other, and it was like, what Mendoza said is like cookie cutter kind of responses. But for whatever reason, the way they delivered their speeches and the way they talked, it was relatable, believable. It was genuine feeling. And I'm like, just this story isn't over when it comes to, well, now what's next? Signetti, after winning the championship, you're defending your title. You're going to have new stars in the mix. He's got like 10 guys in the portal. 22 freshmen have committed. So he's got guys coming in for next year. There's 32 new bodies. And that's what's great about college football, is because like the story, the chapter is turning to the next one. And now it's like, okay, now what's this regime going to do? And he's just such a good face. Like with Saban, we needed a new one. And I'm not saying he is Saban, but you needed a new guy that gave you this like uber confidence feeling, strategy, just swagger. And I'm like, it's refreshing. Like there's plenty of great coaches, but he just feels a little different. He fills few different boxes for me.
Yeah, to see them be, the confidence and the faith that they had, and just seeing it on a week by week basis, it was like, all right, they were in a tight situation, but they found their way out of it. And in the next game, they win 50-7, and it was just like it didn't matter what game or what time it was when it came down to we need a play. We need a stop. We need something to change the momentum. It happened. And it happened just at will. It was just like, go make a play. 9 times out of 10, it was Mendoza doing it. And he showed you and he proved last night. That's why he won the freaking Heisman. That's why he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Unfortunately, it's going to go to the Raiders, but I can only hope that he can play a small part in turning that entire franchise around. So if the Raiders want to keep being the Raiders, hey, pass up on him, because I think he has that mindset and the skill to go to an NFL organization, maybe not in year 1 or 2, but he will make a difference and he will contribute into turning a franchise around for the better.
I will admit that the Hoosier in me, I do not want to see that man of faith with his mama going to Sin City, man. I really don't want to see that. That part's really awful. I hate that feeling. But for the Raiders, if they know what's good for him, they absolutely draft him.
If there's anybody on this rock right now that can cleanse the sinniest of sin cities, it is Fernando Frippin Mendoza. He'll go in there and dude, he's going to have prostitutes in nun outfits. I guarantee it.
Strip. And he's like, don't call it that.
Yeah, don't call it that. Call it the undressing. We're here at the Vegas undressing.
Oh, goodness. All right, well, we close up that. Let's move on to the NFL. This is our second place, like we just discussed. I think it's official that they are second best now.
Second best.
We're going to start with the first game Saturday, the egregious bullshit game that really set the tone for the weekend. Callan Cowherd, wrong as usual, talking about the Broncos of all things. Bills at Broncos, okay? We all saw it, right? We don't have to go into a bunch of detail. He caught the ball, and if there was no defender, you could try to make the argument that the impact of the ground, maybe it would have bounced out of Cook's hands. You could try that. In my mind, the only reason he lost the ball was because the defender pulled it away. So now we're saying that you can tackle guys to the ground and rip it out, and it'll be your ball. That's what we're creating now. And we were inconsistent with it this weekend because Rams game had told the same thing happen essentially. Very, very close. And they called it the opposite. So the Bills get fucked in this game. Josh Allen crying after the game. The NFL should be ashamed of themselves that they've done this to Josh Allen again, that they had a fucking stupid overtime rule that cost them against Mahomes. And now he turned around and he's been fucked again on a bullshit. They would have won the game. That was a game winning catch. It was over.
Yeah, they were about to kick a field goal, yep.
And serves the NFL right. You said it after the game. Bo Nix with a broken ankle. Oh, karma. They didn't deserve to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can make and there's nothing that I can say to this counterpoint. If Josh Allen doesn't have 4 turnovers,
him.
You could say you don't want it to come down to a blown call.
Right.
Which it did, but the Bills had way too many turnovers, and I can agree with that argument, and I will make that claim. Yeah, they should not have had that many turnovers. But for a team to have that many turnovers and still be in the game in overtime and everything, it's like, okay, well, they were still there. They still had a chance. And I think I have the NFL rule figured out for when it's a catch or what is if the ball is ripped out of your hands, whether you're on the ground and down or not, it's going to be continuation. But when you hit the ground and you're being contacted and you fumble, then it's down. Okay, so they're going to call it an interception. But a fumble, it's okay. You're down by contact. See, this is why I love college football so much more, because there's no bullshit in there like this. It's just like in college, if you make a catch and your knee hits the ground, you're down, whether you're contacted or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of lame, but in the same time, it's like it will keep you from having non-catches and catches called just so back and forth. Yeah. It's going to come down to what officiating crew is calling the game, because their calls are always going to be different. They're never going to make the same call twice. Mm-hmm. So, and I was telling you there, it's like, okay, I got it now. So if you fumble, you're down by contact. If it's an interception, it's continuation, which is so stupid to me. Because when you go to the ground and it's 50-50, both guys could have their hands on the ball. Mm-hmm. It always goes to the offense. And it's like, okay, but if he just happens to roll through and dude lets go of the ball, mm-hmm. It's like, I just don't understand it, and I will refuse to understand it.
Yeah. So for me, how I observed the play was that it wasn't even a tie, right?
It wasn't.
As I watched the play, Brandon Cooks caught the ball all on his own. When they slow it down, he has the ball by himself. The defender is currently starting to land on him and take him to the ground with the momentum. Only Cooks has it in his hands. The other guy has his hands nowhere near. Okay. As they fall to the ground and slam into the ground, the defender brings his arms and hands down where the ball is, and that jolt, he is able to then pull the ball out. That's not an interception, and the reason I say that is because he didn't catch it. That's just how I look at it. If there's any form of bobble and he had caught it somehow on the ground without it touching the ground, that one I would have felt differently about. But for someone to have the ball, hit the ground with the ball, and the only reason the ball came out was because he pulled it out, you can't steal someone's catch in that way. He was fucking down. And he never started the catch with Brandon Cooks. There was no tie. So for me, I had Colin Cowherd say, the slow motion replay, ironically, is actually doing a disservice to the fans, because now we are all able to see slow-mo half a second moments of a knee being down, but they haven't completed the catch yet. So we see that they're down by contact, but we're slowing it down so slow that is not a realistic way to determine it. And I'm actually on the opposite side. I'm saying we have the technology. Be consistent and say, because we slow it down, guess what? You had it for 1 millisecond before the other guy did anything to you. So you were down by contact. Be consistent. I don't understand how we can't just announce in the rule that that's how we're going to call it and it appease the masses. Don't have a game on the line and have everyone pissed off. In the off season, have meetings and say, moving forward, the way the call is going to be done is this. You did a hip drop tackle last year and said this is how they're going to call it. Do the same thing on a catch. People are so tired of this catch nonsense. In the other game, Davante Adams is in air, and as he lands on his feet, he's being tackled to the ground. The Bears rip the ball out, and they say, nope, he's down by contact. There was
Yeah.
virtually no difference between the two.
Yeah.
And that
I
just
would.
proves it when the refs are not consistent crew to crew, game to game, in the
Yeah.
same fucking weekend. That means that you guys do not have a clear way to call it, and you need to clean it up. That is your fucking job
Yeah.
to
Yep.
clean it the fuck up. Period.
Yep. Yep. That is their job. That's one of their sole responsibilities. And I would agree with Colin on that if they would have reviewed it, which they did not. Should have been, because overtime, all reviews come from the booth. You can't challenge in overtime. You can't do anything like that. And McDermott did the right thing. He called a timeout to say, look at it. Please, just please look at it. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But just look at it. They couldn't even bring themselves to do that. So, I mean, I think they knew, it's like, okay, we probably blew this. We don't want to look at it. We want to make sure that Denver goes on to win this game.
Well, I think they were uncomfortable with calling it a catch because it would mean
Yeah.
Buffalo will probably win the game. But if
Yeah.
they call it an interception,
Egos.
there's more football game to be had, and the players can decide it. But if we say the Bills caught it, we kind of decided it too. They're so
Yeah.
uncomfortable with calls that they will
Mhm.
choose it off of that because, like you said, they didn't review it for a reason. That was
Yeah.
a very, very important review call to do in overtime. They did their responsibility to fucking review that. So you just
That's what makes it so dirty. I mean, that's what it makes it. You know, I always joke with you about the tinfoil hat theories. But I mean, when you have stuff like that, it's like there's no reason why you don't go under the hood and review that. You can review it and then come out and say, hey, we got it right the first time, guys. Hey, there was no reason that we even had to look at it. At least you gave the hallucination of going and looking at it and reviewing it just to say, we want to make sure we got it right.
Yeah.
If you go with the call on the field, you go with the call on the field. People will be pissed, but you know what? At least you gave the optics of we looked. This case is like, you know what? We're so confident in ourselves. Our dicks are so huge. We don't even need to look at it. Our ego, we're really good. So
Look at what?
I don't see. Yeah, what happened? I mean, it was a clear intercept. What's there to? What's?
I don't like the idea of a defender being able to tackle someone to the ground and knowing now that they can just rip the ball away on that kind of contact. Because to me, in the essence of interceptions, it's not. It's really not. I've always been mad when I see a guy make what is an obvious catch, and then something causes it to move or do something hitting the ground, and they go, "Oh, you didn't catch it," and it's like, okay. But like we all know that he caught it. Like if we were playing in a yard, he caught the ball. The ball stopped moving. Its momentum stopped moving because he caught it. But you have to have clear rules to call it and boundaries and out of bounds. You have to have that. But for God's sakes, okay, I know it's hard on the defenders, but the defenders can't have this kind of luxury of tackling midair guys and taking the ball. Yeah. The ground they're already hitting the fucking ground so hard. Mm-hmm. And you already have this survive the ground bullshit. And now on top of that, when the defender takes him to the ground and presses his body into the ground and slams him, by the way, you can also just take the ball and it's his pick now. Now he's caught the ball. He didn't catch it. Okay, he didn't catch it. So I just think it's bullshit.
Yeah, and normally I'm on the side of the defender because defensive players get shafted so many times.
They do.
On rules and everything because it's an offensive league. Everybody knows that it's a quarterback-driven league, an offensive-driven league. Mm-hmm. So when the defenders, if they're put in a tight spot, and they really don't have any other choice than to do what they need to do to prevent a score, and then they get flagged for it, it's like it sucks because defensive players are so under a microscope on the field. But in this case, it's one of those you have to be consistent the way you've been calling shit over the last decade or two. When it's dual possession, the offensive player is on the ground, whether it's a knee, a butt cheek, a shin, or whatever, down by contact. It could be a pinky just grazing his helmet. And they would say, oh, yeah, his finger bent back on his helmet. He made contact. That's where the ball's dead at. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he then goes in and grabs the ball and pulls it into himself. He's down by contact, even if the guy touches the ball. He's down by contact.
What I would have said
Just be consistent.
what I would have said for the defender is like, okay, well, if you're saying he had the ball, he should have got the ball before the defender or the player hit the ground. Before Cooks hit the ground, he should have scooped that ball away and had clear-cut evidence of also having possession. He didn't have the ball at all by the time contact happened. Cooks was very visibly knee down, falling to the ground with the ball all by himself.
Ball to his body, yep.
How can you call it an interception? It goes against the essence of what an interception is. It's like you are fucking your integrity of the game up because you can't figure out what a fucking catch is. Like, it is egregious.
Yeah, and I just have I can't believe that it's 2026 in the NFL.
What is a catch?
Still cannot define a goddamn catch. They just can't do it.
What is the most societal difficult thing? What is a woman or what is a catch? I really don't know.
What is a catch? Yeah, don't know anymore. The lines are so blurred.
Which one's the harder one to answer?
I don't know. Does a football have ovaries?
If it did,
I don't know. So who knows? Who knows?
I will say I feel the same if a defender, if it had been switched, I would have said the pick should stand. If it was reversed, if the defender goes up, high points the ball, and he catches it, and as he's coming down, the offensive player tries to get involved, and by the time he hits the ground, now he's ripping the ball away. I feel the same way. It's an interception.
Yeah.
It's about who catches the ball first. If the ball touches two hands of a player and he starts to look like possession has started, I want to give the tie to him immediately. I don't give a fuck who comes in 1/2 a second later before the completion of anything. It's not fair to sit here and have someone catch the ball and then you rip it out of their hands and say, yeah, it's my catch. Like, what are we, 5 on the fucking bully yard and schoolyard time? No.
Yeah.
This guy caught the ball, period.
Yeah, and the only time you have to survive the ground is if you're a receiver.
Right.
You can be a running back and hit the ground and the ball comes out and it's okay, you're down.
Yep.
But the receivers are the only ones that have to survive the ground, and I think that they need to change that immediately. Yep. It's just so ridiculous. If you're running into the end zone, as soon as the tip of the football hits that end zone line, that first blade of painted grass, the play is dead. It's over. Doesn't matter what happens.
But they can unless the ball and all this,
unless you make the catch and you fall to the ground and the ball bounces out, or somebody knocks it out of your hand. As soon as you get 2 feet in, you're down, and it's done and it's over with. So I think they kind of need to revisit that a little bit and just be like, okay, maybe we should take that surviving the ground thing and maybe
get
rid of it.
Yeah, or
because
get rid of it completely.
If it's a solo thing, like if the guy going to make the catch, he falls, hits the ground, and it bounces out of his hand.
That's exactly how you modify it, right?
Yes.
This is a solo catch rule. If you are by yourself, you must survive the ground going out of bounds or going into a painted area. You must survive the ground. Super easy.
Yeah.
What is that? One fucking sentence on the clause for how you to call the rule. Whole fucking world understands how you call it. Like, it's just annoying because it's easy to explain.
Yeah. And here we are. We're not making any money off of it, and we're coming up with really good ideas. And these other guys are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year, and they can't define a goddamn catch.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Get these white collar fuckholes out of the goddamn decision-making business. It's so stupid.
Said that the game was pretty good.
Really good.
This was the game we said, wow, hey, the refs really haven't done a bad job. I think it's important to note, okay, people wanted to say, well, there's no fix. They want Josh Allen to go far. That's better sales and this and that.
No, they don't.
I would think that. But also, in overtime, following the bullshit catch thing that they gave to the fucking Broncos, they called 3 PIs to set them up for the game-winning field goal on one fucking drive. Now, one of them, I think, might have been PI, and I think the last one was probably technically. Now, you disagreed a little bit, but there was 3. I think they were all subjective to some degree, and I thought the third, in my mind, happened to just be the most likely of the 3 to have some argument for PI, but they were all pretty rough. And Tre'Davious White wasn't having it. I kind of was, when I watched him, I was like, just hit him, man. Deserves it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to, but you can't. But
yeah,
he wants to.
Oh yeah, he definitely wanted to.
Because you're going to lose the game on that play. Like, you just fucking lost.
Yeah, he's He's got to show a little bit of composure there. And
I know.
I get it. You're fiery. You're pissed, and you feel like the officials are against you, and it really looked like they were.
Yeah.
But man, you got to keep your head in there, and you can't do that kind of stuff. But Tre'Davious White, he's a veteran. He probably realized, this is my last chance that I'm going to get to try to go for a championship. Because I mean, he's not who he once was before. He's been burned a lot this year, so I understand why he's pissed. But that last PI, if you're not going to call Denver for that,
Yeah, that's the problem.
then you can't call Buffalo for that, because they did the exact same thing. Kind of grabbed his arm a little bit and then grabbed him by the waist right as soon as the ball was getting there.
I agree.
And it's like the bang bangs, in the playoffs need to be probably not called. I would like to see it because these guys are competing for a title.
I understand penalty problems more because if we're being honest, that's the most subjective thing about the fucking NFL is how the referees call a penalty. Now, the catch in my mind, it's like, it's not supposed to be subjective. But I wake up every day watching a football game and just being like, the penalties are going to be subjective. What they see, when they see it, their determination and their judgment call. Every time I swallow that, and I'm annoyed by that week in and week out when one goes what I think is completely wrong. But yeah, I kind of expect it. What I hope for is that there's only one bad call on a drive. And in this case, there was 3. So yeah, that's where I said, okay,
and it was
bullshit.
And being the game ending, there's going to be the last drive of the game. It's like,
yep.
You don't want to see. It's like this game went from being competitive as all be hell to being a good back and forth slobber knocker game to now being like, okay, the referees determine the outcome of this game yet again. And you hate seeing it.
The media talking heads, they'll say, well, Buffalo, they lost their composure. And I'm pretty sure when Skip Bayless told Shannon Sharpe his Hall of Fame wasn't the same as Tom Brady, Shannon Sharpe lost his fucking composure. So
yes, he did.
So
rightfully so.
Are we saying
rightfully
that losing composure means you deserve to lose a football game?
Yeah. Well, maybe they're just tired of this being the 6th year in a row since this shit's happened. I mean, it's 6 goddamn years straight. They've lost a game because of some horrendous call.
We have to remember, Buffalo lost 4 straight Super Bowls one time. Has that fandom been through enough? Because this isn't even just Josh Allen and the current regime, and that we're not even discussing the fact that Sean McDermott lost his fucking job over it.
Yeah.
He lost his job.
Yeah.
Which we talked about. We said, well, unfortunately this year, the way things are shaking out, Buffalo's going to be looking at this going, this is our year. So if they don't win, McDermott's probably going to have to fall on the sword no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is or what's going on. And he was adamant that they screwed up and this and that didn't matter. He's gone.
Yeah. It's a Lovie Smith situation. You have a winning team,
we've gone as
but
far
yet
as we
it's
can.
just you have a winning team, you get to a playoff and you lose that playoff game, or you have a winning season, you just missed the playoffs by maybe a half a game or something, and you get fired. And it's like that should not ever happen.
Yeah.
Tom McDermott should still be employed. And the thing that really stinks about that whole thing, which is making me start to question Buffalo a little bit, is they promoted the GM. Why did they promote the GM? Because this guy made 0 moves when it came to trade deadline.
They
refused to bring in a receiver.
Like 7 B receivers throughout the year.
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody made a difference. Like, try to go get Jalen Waddle. Try to go get somebody else who is on a bad team who is not going anywhere, And who cares if it costs you a couple first rounders or a couple draft picks? You're not worried about 2026. You're worried about the 2025 season. Make moves. So since you decided to be, just pasty ass, unflavored shit and not make any moves at all to try to make this team better, even though they had injuries, they had defenders who were injured, they had offensive guys who were injured, go make a move. Everybody is.
Everybody.
Go get you a goddamn number 1 and you have Josh Allen. Josh Allen is going to win you 9 out of 10 games on his own. But when it comes to the playoffs, you have got to have that other playmaker. You have to have a Stephon Diggs. You have to have somebody on that outside that is going to make that catch. And it shouldn't have come down to Brandon Cooks. As much as I like Brandon Cooks, it should not have come down to him.
Right?
He was a great
Ironically,
ad,
he was
yeah.
the best ad, and if you're really looking at it, it's like, damn, at a moment in time, was he maybe their best receiver? Because Shakir, he flashed, and you're just kind of like, damn. I mean, this veteran Brandon Cooks, like they're starting to put him in bigger high crunch moments, and you could see how demoralized he was because it's like, well, how many more chances is he going to get? Because he's getting towards the end of his career, and he was playing awesome football. And another guy I
Mm-hmm.
feel for that's going to probably be pointing at fingers at himself is James Cook. He had 7, I think, fumbles this year, 7 or 8 fumbles. He had quite a few, and he had one in this game. Kind of as dynamic and awesome as he was, he didn't take care of the football very well. But by the end of this season, he was starting to get to the point where you could tell he was thinking about it. When he was cutting through some people, you could tell he was feeling like shit. Like you could see him tighten up on the ball after getting hit because he could feel like, oh, there's another guy coming. Like, and he still fumbled in this game. So I just, I wanted Buffalo to go just because I thought it was their turn. And then, Denver, good luck to you. I hope you guys get blown out. New England, I hope they do dirty things to you. And I don't want the Patriots to go either, but Denver clearly, what I don't want,
Yeah.
backup quarterback in the Super Bowl. Seen that before. That shit
Yep.
sucks.
Seen it. Yeah. Well, at least when that happened, at least it was still in the regular season.
Yeah.
When that transition happened. But I do not want to see Jarrett Stidham starting a fucking Super Bowl against probably Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford. You know what? It would be poetic justice maybe if it was the battle of the MVP candidates. You know what I mean? That would be okay.
Yep.
I would be okay with that. And never did I think I would say I would rather see the Patriots in a Super Bowl.
I know, dude.
Than I would anybody else. But I definitely do not want to see that shit. I do not want to see Jarrett Stidham go to the freaking Super Bowl.
I promise I'm a Colts fan. And what we're saying here is that we're trying to be unbiased. We're putting our emotions to the side to some degree, and we're just saying, okay,
professional journalism.
What is the better football game for everyone? Now, we are mad about Denver, and we think bullshit, but I will admit, I would be more even Stevens if Bo Nix was healthy. I would probably just be like, I don't have a dog in this fight, right? With Bo Nix out, it's not the better football game. I mean, it just isn't. No. New England is playing awesome, so they're the better football game, period.
Yep, it would be.
Moving on to the next game, the 49ers at Seahawks. I got this one very wrong, so congratulations, Jay.
Yes, you did.
Caught up to me.
Tied it up.
It was really ugly, and honestly, I wouldn't say emotional. I felt for them. What the 49ers went through this year on injuries, and to see McCaffrey kind of limping around holding his shoulder, to see Tonjes limping out, kind of trying to sprint, I was like, they cannot catch a fucking break. They have played so good under difficult conditions and circumstances this whole season, but the Seahawks laid the wood, man. I mean, that was a beatdown.
Yeah, they for as good as a regular season as San Francisco had, given all the adversity that they had to go through, and they went through a lot.
So much.
And they made it. They came out on the other side better for it. Mm-hmm. When you get to January, it's going to catch up with you. You've had so many people playing hurt. We cannot play this next game and expect to win if you don't go out there at 70%. And play your best football. And that's what they had. They had a roster full of 70% healthy guys, some of them a little bit lower, and saying, we need you to beat what could probably be labeled as the best team in football right now. And you just got showed that as minimal as a move as everybody may have thought it was when the Seahawks made that trade to get Shaheed, that proved to be the winning move to come in and just immediate statement. You saw it with IU when they had a pick 6 against Oregon first play.
They went and got
it set the tone.
Yeah, their prime Devin Hester, who's also offensively going to give you screens and deep shots and things
end arounds.
Holy shit! And he's taking it to the house opening fucking kick. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, just setting the tone, and that defense. You can't say enough about them. I mean, they do the same thing every week. That's why I was trying when our prediction video last week. It's like they figured something out against San Francisco, whether it be the fact that they have like 7 healthy people or whatever it is, but they figured it out and
Like
they
their
found a
weak
way
points.
to kind of their weak points. And if you pressure Brock Purdy, he's going to make mistakes, and he did.
Yeah.
So it looked like they kept that same game plan because looking at it, I mean, Darnold, 124 passing yards, and the Seahawks scored 41 points.
And
Kenneth Walker had his best game that he's ever had.
he had more
You know,
rushing
Charbonnet's
yards.
down and everything,
He had
but
more rushing
you
yards
know,
than fucking Darnold had passing.
yeah.
Tell me what I
So
said
it's
when we
like
started the Seahawk conversation last week. Do you remember what I said? That I was a little sketchy about Seahawks. What?
they're going to have to run the game. Their running game was sketchy, and if they were going to win and have a chance, they would have to run the ball very well.
Kenneth Walker.
And they did, but 3
Sharp.
tuds, man. You know, where was this shit at when I had, you know, Kenneth Walker in fantasy? You know, he would scrape by with like 7 points.
You cut his ass at one point. I had picked him
I didn't
up.
cut his ass.
You didn't? Somebody
I didn't
his
cut
ass.
him. I benched him. I didn't
picked
cut
him
him. I
up
benched
at one point in somebody's, I don't know, one of the leagues.
Yeah, that was my league, but I'm talking about your league.
Well, yeah,
I kept him.
somebody-
I didn't want to give him away.
Somebody cut him in your league, and I scooped him up. I couldn't really get him in my lineup because my team was pretty good. Won the championship in his league, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, I remember that.
Charbonnet goes down, though. You have to wonder, can Kenneth Walker carry the load? So far, absolutely. Now, they're going to be playing the Rams, right? So I'm very intrigued. Round 3 of that, it's like, yeah, that division was amazing this year. So we're going to get another round 3.
How does Seattle feel like, hey, you guys got the number 1 seed. Get ready for 2 straight division games in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl?
Shit. So, yeah, I was sad. I was sad for Purdy. He was getting his ass kicked. He didn't even know what to do half the time when he was scrambling away. He was just like, you could just, in his mind, he had to be saying, fuck, 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 fuck. Like, you just, he had to be. Kudos to the Seahawks. They look like the most complete team in football, maybe in the Patriots. It's going to be, I mean, those are the top 2 teams in my mind. But moving on to the next game, the Texans, they had a game like the Bills, right? They played like us. But kudos to that Houston defense. They kept them in the game for a long time. A long time.
Yeah.
Until it finally just got to be too overwhelming.
And if I'm CJ Stroud, I'm getting the number 28 tattooed on my hand somewhere, because that was his quarterback rating for this game, and he would have had a higher quarterback rating if they just spiked the ball every play.
Stupid. I saw
he had 4 picks, man. That's just egregious.
Listen, this is Dan Orlovsky. Loved Bud. He's a solid Bud, former Colt. He probably has some Patriot disdain, which you like, hey, kudos, fucking keeping it alive, right? Sure. He said on the show, his fucking show, that the Texans would have won with 31 other quarterbacks in the NFL. That they have that kind of game. And I'm like, can we not just give credit to the Patriots? They were unbelievable on defense. It was, can we blame the Houston's line? Can we blame the head coach and the coordinator for being more prepared to block that line? Can we just sit here and be like, okay, Stroud had a bad day? But there are more reasons than him just being trash. Like, I've seen him play well, and there's been a problem this whole season with Houston's offense. If you want to tell me it's Stroud, okay. But when I watch the game, I don't come away seeing that as the glaring thing. I see the offensive line, the lack of running. I see Nico Collins not even in. Who the fuck is he supposed to throw to? Xavier Hutchinson was a cancer in this game. Every time he threw the ball to Hutchinson, something really fucking bad happened. It became a pick. It became a fumble. It became just something awful. And he didn't have no one to throw to. He didn't have no Tank Dell. He didn't have nobody. He had a bunch of rookies and Xavier Hutchinson. Like, he had no running backs. Joe Mixon never played. Like, it's important to note that they were there because of Houston's defense, and they did not lose because of Stroud. They lost because their entire offense was just overmatched.
Yeah. That defense band-aided a lot of cuts this season. But when you you can't bandage a cut jugular, man. You just can't. It's going to bleed out. And you're just like, oh my God, shit, what am I doing? I'm just going to bleed out.
Like the guy from Screen. Hey, cut me deep, man. I feel a little
you cut me deep. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody can sit here and blame CJ Stroud.
That's
I mean, and they're You're well within your right to do so because yes, he had 4 interceptions, but when they only ran the ball not even barely 20 times
because they couldn't.
The Houston is a running team. You don't want CJ Stroud to be the guy who has to go out there and make every single play. And everybody got so caught up in his rookie year hype that now everything it just falls short of that. So I think Houston needs to really kind of take a step back and look themselves and say, we need to get some sort of offensive coordinator that can change games and change teams. And they need to, whoever it is, I don't even know who they had down there this year, but he ain't it. He's just not it.
No.
And if they need to sit there and look and say, we need to get that guy in here who's going to come in here and make CJ Stroud him again.
Yeah.
Because his rookie year, he made it look easy. Came in, made the playoffs, won the division his rookie year, won a playoff game. And it's like, dude, come on. The kid has it in him.
Yes.
But you can't sit there and look back and say it's his fault that they lost. He contributed. It's like Josh Allen. He contributed a lot to the loss. But when you're out there and you're getting smothered every other play, you have to throw the ball. You have to put the ball in a bad spot and hope for a play to be made out of it.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have any of their playmakers out there. Nobody did anything.
If Stroud is so bad and the Patriots are also really great on defense, this should have been one of the most biggest blowouts in history. The fact that it wasn't, you'd be like, well, because of Houston's defense. I'm like, well, it's because Stroud isn't the worst fucking guy ever. He just had a bad game.
Yeah.
And what you just said, big indictment in my mind for the OC. And I don't know who it is. I can look it up in a moment. But the OC of Houston, you have all these guys going down. You have Joe Mixon never comes through. You have Nico Collins in and out. You have Tank Dell out. You brought in rookie skill position players. You brought in Jaden Higgins. You brought in Jalen Noel. You brought in Woody Marks. Woody Marks was decent, but you can tell right away, nice complimentary back to someone else. Okay, that's how I looked at it. Nice complimentary to someone else. Why didn't the receivers grow in this offense?
Yeah.
Nico Collins.
Yeah, they had
Tank Dell.
17 games.
But these other two receivers they drafted, neither one. If anything, Noel, you couldn't play him. Every time he was out there, it seemed like, kick return, punt return. He seemed scared. I'm like, he was just uncomfortable. Why? It's your job. Yeah. You had your guys out. These were your guys you had to depend on throughout the year. You had Houston's defense carrying you the whole year. For me, the offensive coordinator got to go.
Yep.
This was one of the worst offenses in football.
Yeah. Nick Caley is his name.
Well,
never heard that name in my life.
Well, if he ate less kale, then maybe he would know what to do on offense. Oh,
you're fired.
Yeah.
Retire the show right now. That was awful.
And thanks for coming. No, they need an OC. They need, honestly, in those circumstances, that's where fucking, what's his name? The guy that pissed me off and went to the Falcons. Stefanski should have gotten hired to like Houston OC. That would have made sense. Where's Mike McDaniel at? Houston.
You need a big name. Like, you don't want a college coordinator. You don't want a college coach to come up and be your coordinator. You need
a pro guy.
Somebody. You need a pro game guy.
Yes.
Maybe somebody who's retired currently, or somebody who's just been recently fired, or has been fired for a couple years or something. Hasn't been around.
Byron Leftwich at? Fucking call him. I don't care.
Maybe, yeah. Where the hell is he at?
Where the fuck's he at? There's got to be some OCs that you know, give them a shot. Go get a new one. Okay, don't call the Steelers OC. There's some teams with problems that have a real schematic issue creating awesome plays for their team. They just did a poor job. Houston was at the bottom of the list this year. So a big address. And you can call Stroud, blah, blah, blah. No, it was the OC. It was the play calling. It was the setup that was a big issue through the whole year. And the offensive line wasn't all that good.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you give away Laramie Tunsil at the beginning of the year, maybe him being on the team still would help in some of those pressures. But they made some questionable moves in the preseason, that being one of them. OC being really bad this year. The Texans' offense is usually in the top half of the league.
Usually it's
and they were definitely not up there this year.
Yeah,
very, very balanced. But then you have the number one defense, probably by a mile,
Mm,
And if you can just manage a top 12 or 13 offense, they're still playing.
seriously. They have
They
like a
are.
top 3 to 5 defense, and they just happen to have like the 30th, 28th offense in the NFL. Like that
Yeah.
is close to good enough.
There's without a doubt, the Texans, they have the best defense in the league right now. I don't care who it is. I would
Over New
even
England
take
and
Houston
Seattle?
over New England, over Seattle. Texans defense is number one. I mean, it's just bar
Mm-hmm.
none. I would have Seattle at two, a very close two,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably New England third. But New England just has that. They have that perfect balance. It just seems they have a top five defense and they have a top five offense as well. And it's like they can do no wrong.
I
If their
agree.
defense struggles, their offense is going to be able to stay up with them.
After what you've seen Houston do to Pittsburgh and knowing how inept the offense was, you have to take that into
Yeah.
consideration. Seattle's offense was pretty good at times,
Yeah.
and so was New England's. And
Uh-huh.
one of them had like one of the best receivers this season. The other one had an MVP candidate. So you have to take that in consideration as some form of a tiebreaker to
Yeah.
truly decide. And yeah, so Houston really carried the weight this year as more than
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah. Instead of complimenting each other, defense was saving
Yes.
the team.
Yes.
It's not a good back and forth balance. We're going to play and we're going to complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now the defense was saving games and the defense was winning games, and now it's more obvious now than ever. I mean, even against Pittsburgh, like you said, their offense couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
And their defense had to score a couple touchdowns to kind of put the game out of reach. But there's definitely an offensive problem in Houston.
Before we leave the Pats game, we got to talk Kayshon Boutte. What an unbelievable one-handed catch that he was able to haul in the snow. Everything about
One-handed
that
booty.
I'll be honest, that play alone was probably the best game of the whole week and was the only real saving grace of like what you remembered from the NFL. Because if I'm being honest, most of the things I remembered through the week for the NFL was negative. That was probably the only
Yeah.
positive I really remembered outside of just, wow, how dominant Seattle looked, was Kayshon Boutte's one-handed touchdown. It was spectacular. I was like, man, how he's really grown up into a legitimate receiver. I'm like,
Yeah, he is a good complimentary wide receiver, and he's developing quite nice.
Yep.
And when we saw that, man, me and my youngest son, we watched that. We just lost our. How in the hell did he catch that?
Yeah.
And
like
I would even go
momentum with a hand and then just kind of pulled it in while in midair. While in midair, like I couldn't even. Wow.
It was amazing, and I would say the same thing with that interception. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I know he's number 7, but when he had that interception, he got his knee down right before it went out of bounds. I mean, that was for the game itself was borderline ass, because it just seemed like every other possession there was a turnover by both teams.
Yeah.
But the plays that were being made, I mean, you look at the group and you see the amount of turnovers, it's like ass. But then you look at the individual play, where it's like, that was a damn good catch, or that was a damn good hit that caused a fumble, or that was a damn good pick. It's like the turnovers were annoying, but the plays that were being made was like, whoa, a great play.
There was like 8 or 9 turnovers in the game, and they were almost all in halftime.
Terrible.
I couldn't even. I was like, wow, they're on pace for something fucking record breaking right now.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
These defenses really want to win the game. The offenses don't really want to.
We talked before the week started that we were going to get a couple matchups where there was hellacious defenses going head to head, and that was a good overall takeaway from that game. Was just, wow, these defenses are stout. They're, like you said, second, third, like they're great. First and second, I was happy with that. I'm not happy that it's New England, but it happens. At least it's a totally different regime. I keep telling myself that, like, this is different. This is different this time. It's not the same. Kraft stopped getting those massages. He hired a personal massage person that's okay.
Leave him alone. He's an old man.
Leave him alone.
He's an old billionaire, so what? He gets his hog cranked every once in a while.
Golly. Put the flag up the flagpole, right? The final game of the week, Rams at Bears. It went the way we thought, but it almost didn't. Caleb
Mm-hmm.
Williams pulled an unbelievable play. I think Cole Kmet might have pushed off. The defender certainly acted like he had, but it
Hey, but I,
was unbelievable. Honestly, I was like, I just don't really
yeah,
care.
yeah. Well, I thought so too because the defender was jumping towards the ball and he made
Yeah.
it look like he was pushed. But when you look at the angle from the back, he didn't really push off. Like
Okay.
he touched and he kind of like shuffled to go back to the corner,
Yeah.
but he didn't push him. The guy jumped like 5 seconds after he touched him. So I mean,
Mhm.
it would have been a flop.
Yeah. I talked to somebody that was watching, and they said they actually thought when that happened, they're like, holy shit, the Bears are going to do it again because cardiac Bears, they've been doing it this season. There's just unbelievable
Mm-hmm.
plays to help themselves win a
Yeah.
game. And, you know, Caleb, they about had it. DJ Moore led up on that play. He knows he did. He didn't think the ball was going to come his way. He has a little bit of a temperament when he's running some big routes, deep routes. He gives up on his route when he just is like predetermined. Oh yeah, the ball's not coming my way. Well, it did, and it got picked.
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
sucks that that's the way that ended. But I'd seen that kind of bullshit all year. DJ Moore, kind of just really talented player, kind of gets in his head a little bit. It's hard for him to give 100% effort every play. I'm not sure why, whatever he's gone through, whatever target's issue, whatever it is, he's got a little diva in him. Maybe Steve Smith put it in him, Cam Newton, I don't know.
I've never seen Steve Smith give up on a play.
But I'm saying the diva, making him feel important
Yeah,
early. You know, I always remember
maybe.
that skit where he's like, should I put you in my fantasy lineup? And then Cam Newton's like, you could put him in the flex. He's like, I don't really understand that. Why would I put him in the flex? And then he looks at the dude. He's
Mm.
like, if I play you and you give me 1 point, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, and I'm like, did he feel like he had made it at a early age, and so he has this attitude? I don't really know, but maybe you just don't like Caleb. He does give up on plays, and it was a really bad timing situation. I really hated to see that because Caleb Williams in there got the stop on the Rams. They go down and score just a field goal. They win the game. I
Yeah,
really thought they about had it.
yeah. They only needed about 10 more yards, and they would have had a
Yeah,
legitimate shot at it.
yeah.
So
Pinheiro had
I
been
think,
good this year. I was like, man, I think they're about to pull this shit out.
yeah, I just don't, man. I don't see DJ Moore coming back to Chicago next year. I don't see it.
Yeah,
After, I mean, which is doesn't make sense because him and Caleb, their 2024 season, man, they balled and they were great together.
great.
And you just have this whole thing this year.
Case of the ass
You
with him
know,
and Odunze being good this year. I don't know.
maybe, yeah, but I mean, Odunze was hurt a little bit. Luther Burden's coming up. Loveland and Komet, those guys coming up, and then, this kind of the stuff that got him kicked out of Carolina. That's what made them want to move on from that was because he was getting a little big for his britches,
Yeah.
as they say. So it's like we can win games without you. We've won games with zero production from you,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that this gives me kind of AJ Brown vibes where you kind of need to cut the cancer out. It's the only way you're going to get healthy is if you get rid of the cancer and just go through the treatments and you'll be better on the other side for it. So
Yeah.
maybe they're definitely going to have to bring in some guys for sure, but I think with the core of skill players that they have, they're going to be good for years to come. They're in good hands, they're in good shape, but you may want to go ahead and just say, DJ Moore, thanks for 3 or 4 good years. We don't need you, dude. So we got Odunze, we got Burden. Burden's going to be good.
Yeah.
So
He was
Manungai, Colson Leveland, they're going to be great.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like there's going to be a few receivers that might be on the move this offseason via trade.
Yeah.
DJ Moore,
Yeah.
AJ Brown. You got to wonder for Buffalo if they would want one of them because what you're just saying.
Buffalo, but I'm still on the train of Buffalo should have made a move for AJ Brown in October. They should have. And if they would have, maybe they're still around.
Maybe.
But I mean,
with someone else's cancer, isn't it? Is it going to be your cancer, but it'll take a while before it sets in, and you'll take the year or two of good before it becomes an issue?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, it takes some time.
In those scenarios, it's like their cancer. It won't be our cancer for a couple years, so we can get a win because Philly got a win with AJ Brown. And Tennessee was
Mm-hmm.
great with AJ Brown, but he's going to be a problem everywhere he goes. He's also a really good talent. So is it just something that you're willing to take about a 12 to 24 month try on, and then it's like, okay, now we're over it?
Yeah, I think it's worth it because all you got to do is just be honest with the guy when he comes in. It's like, look, we know that there's drama where you previously were. We're not
We're
going to
winning
play with that. We're going
8
to give
targets
you
or
the ball
so.
when we can. We can't guarantee you're going to get 5 or 6 catches every single game because that's just not. It's not always a guarantee.
Mm.
But we do want you to be a part of this team, and that's got to be good enough to have somebody want you. And I
I
think
think it
that's what
is.
AJ Brown's problem. Well, I think that's what AJ Brown's problem is a lot. Is like he feels like he's unwanted
But how can
because
you
of all the
feel wanted
negativity.
if the ball doesn't come your way? Because like he was clearly awesome, and Philly was being talked about as a little bit of a super team as far as talent on paper. And you have Barkley come over, and that completes the puzzle. And then AJ Brown doesn't feel like very useful. It's like, well, because he was the piece to the puzzle before Barkley, and he's like feeling less useful
Yeah,
now that he wasn't the last piece. So like how can you really make someone like that feel better unless like he's the guy that drives the engine and has the catches? Cuz can he really buy into getting 4 or 5 targets a game and winning a Super Bowl when other people are getting the ball more than him? Because I think it matters how much he gets the ball. Personally, I don't know if I can picture him being like, okay, I'm coming. Where am I going? To the Bears. Okay, they're going to run the ball with both running backs a lot, and Caleb will only give me about 4 a game. I'm with it. I don't see it. Like the
yeah,
mentality of running the ball instead. Like I think he's got the case of the ass when it comes to running the ball instead of
good.
throwing it his way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Then if you're more concerned about stats, go to Arizona and enjoy losing.
Well, he just he
If you
believes
want to
he's always
win, then you
open,
just need
right?
to sell yourself. Everybody's open on every play. Every receiver will tell you, "Man, I'm open."
I'm open.
And it doesn't matter. Now if you're winning, I mean winning does cure a lot.
Yeah.
Winning helps, but if you're going through a struggle and your team is on a 2 game bender or whatever and you want to get mad instead of being positive about it, then that's okay, that's where it starts. If you're more concerned about what you're getting rather than your entire team winning, that's a horrible mindset. It's a horrible mindset. It can't be. It needs to be about the nucleus, and it needs
Yeah.
to be about all the guys who are on the field and in that locker room. Who gives a shit about the outside noise? Now, if you break away from the nucleus, it starts to get weak and it becomes volatile. So you can either stay and be a part of that, or you can break away and Godspeed wherever you go. But we're going to win with or without you. So if you want to be, I need to have 10 targets every single game, and I need to I need to be in an offense that throws 70% of the time. Okay, go to Vegas, go to Arizona, go somewhere else if you're worried about stats.
I get it. But like I think it's also hard when he sees his peers. And it's not people used to say, oh, well, it's like they compare who's making the money and stuff. I don't think it's just money. Once you're making the
Yeah,
money, I think they're still comparing themselves to the other peers of the league. And so he goes and
yeah.
he's like, look at the Rams. They're doing really well. Puka's getting 10 catches a game. No wonder they're
Who
doing well.
cares?
And he's like, oh, look at the Detroit Lions. Every time they win, Amon-Ra St. Brown has 8, 9, 10, 11 catches. He's like, oh, look, it's clear that the winners in this league are throwing the ball to their top guy 10, 11 times. So he's going to be like in his head about like, I'm your top guy. So we'll win if you throw me the ball that much. Like they're winning. Why wouldn't we win? We're better than everyone. If you give me the ball, that
Yeah,
helps set everything up for everything else. So we'll win. I think these guys have that case. Like they look at that and how can you convince them they're wrong? And I get it. I think it's a Jalen Hurts thing. I don't think that he's built to be a guy that can throw the ball that many times. I think they're a rough, tough team, and Barkley made that team fit what Jalen Hurts also does. And I think AJ Brown needs to leave just to get a different guy. I think Josh Allen would make him very happy, but not every week.
no, not every week, and that's where I think a lot of these guys get in trouble. They keep looking outside of the building and seeing what everybody else is doing.
Grass is
Who
greener
cares what
though.
anybody else is doing? If you want to go, then go. If you don't want to sit here, we need you for this specific job. We need you to either, you know, drive the defense back and to have them put 2 people on you. We need you to basically be a decoy. Yeah, you'll still get some touches and some touchdowns and everything, but it won't be maybe the amount that you want. But God damn it, you're getting money, you're getting paid and paid well. You're in a winning organization. I would say a top 3 franchise in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're always run very well. They draft well. They get free agents. They develop people.
And unless
now their problem this year,
really bad roster, they're usually involved in the mix of shit too, right? Because
yeah,
they're usually pretty talented.
Yeah. Now this year, I would say their problem was the OC. They just couldn't get anything going. Kellen Moore had these guys balling out last year, and everything was amazing. They won the title. Kellen Moore goes to New Orleans and is head coach now. So you bring up this new guy, apparently doesn't know shit, or it's a completely different set of circumstances. Because Philly looked lost. I mean, they won some games, but their offense was bad this year to their standards.
Could you imagine a Mike McDaniel in Philly?
It would be over. It would be over probably week 1. If you mix him and Sirianni, dude, they would be ripping vapes on the sideline the whole time.
I mean, Mike McDaniel has to be a top OC, and what it really is like unsure if he can really be a head coach, but there's still a chance. But yeah, like as an OC, you're just like, this nerd is going to put you guys in some real good situations. We know he is. Like it's just where how he's wired. So
pay him some money and he'll do it.
Speaking of, we're going into coaches a little bit. Let's close the show. Let's talk some of the coaching situations we got going on. I mean, we can just segue into the Miami. They hired somebody. Okay.
Yeah, a body.
They hired a body.
A body.
And if you
the Packers D coordinator.
If you hire anybody, you take the NY out because it's Nye. So it's
Nye. Yeah.
Nye.
It's just I don't see why. I don't get it. The NFL is, I think it's proven time and time again, that defensive-minded coaches just don't fare well when it comes to championships. It's
they have a hard
or at least
time.
Contenders. They have a real hard time.
Their difficulty level is at a higher rate. It's just like an uphill battle for them to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a culture setter. Sometimes,
yeah.
But it just seems
and the defenses will improve, but I mean, what are you going to do offensive wise? You know, it's like when you see, like today, you see Robert Saleh get hired by the Titans. You have a number 1 pick rookie quarterback who actually made a pretty good rise this year from where he was week 1 to the end of the season. He grew and he got better.
He did.
He got better every single week. So, I mean, going into next season, you probably are having at least expectations. This year, there were none for him. Just come out and do what you can, learn. Get your ass kicked, learn. Now, he goes from having an offensive-minded head coach to him getting fired. And then now you got Robert Saleh, who was a joke in New York and whose only success has been as a defensive coordinator. And now he de-coordinated his way into a head. And this is more on the Titans, because who looks at a defensive coordinator who just got blown out 41-6 and says, that's our guy? The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
this set that franchise back 10 years. I'm sorry. It did.
There is rumors that Robert Saleh is going to call Mike McDaniel to be their OC though.
Mike McDaniel's not going to Nashville. No, he's not going to Nashville.
Well, but would that change your opinion? If he can bring in a really great OC, does that change your feeling of the Tennessee? Because, for me, it doesn't change mine either, because they brought in Nathaniel Can't Hackett and Aaron Rodgers together, and it still couldn't. I mean, he got hurt, but then the next year it was still not good. So
yeah, what can you do about that? But I don't.
I don't think
it doesn't change my opinion at all. He's not.
I just don't think
so. Nor should he be. I mean, you can't sit there and say he shouldn't be. But if you're given a head coaching opportunity, of course you're going to take it, because you get 2 or 3 years now. Instead of being, signed into a 5-year contract, they're not going to honor it. So I'd say within 2 or 3 years, if they don't turn around, then he's going to be fired in 2 or 3 years. And it's just going to keep going.
Probably
because they're going to say, we made a mistake. Yeah, give him a shot. Which I thought, maybe he did deserve another shot somewhere, but maybe not yet. I would want to see another season or 2 of him being a coordinator and kind of seeing where the success was. Now, he did a damn good job this year, but it's like you're 1 year removed, man. I mean, like what the hell? So Tennessee is just proving that they want to outjet the Jets. So they're going to be, trash for a long time. And if I come back and I have to eat my own words, then I will. But I don't see this going well.
Well, it's ironic because they have a similar trajectory because, Cam Ward, and I always forget his name because he didn't even stick around long enough, but they drafted a rookie quarterback that they played with Saleh, and it just didn't work out before they,
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. It would be sad to see Cam Ward get ruined and get turned into some project backup somewhere, and you wonder where the fuck happened. Like, if there's anything, Tennessee has to look at that and go, why couldn't we tap into Malik Willis? Like, that's a big issue. The Packers found a way. He's a very viable backup. Maybe even we'll get an opportunity one day soon to be a starter and see what he's got. But
because Mike Vrabel, defensive guy, Matt LaFleur, offensive guy.
If you want to grow,
that's the only way that I mean, that's it.
Yeah. I don't know when you hire a defensive guy. I could understand defensive guy if your defense is poor and your offense is ready. Maybe. But in most cases, yeah, I think you just need a leader. I think you should be hiring the best fucking coordinators you can, let them do their job. And you should be hiring a head coach that you think is just a superior manager, an organizer. And he's good at leadership, and he's got intangibles and things that are really great for your locker room and great for people to get psyched about playing for. But I honestly believe in coordinators. Your OC and your DC are viable assets to your team, and they should be doing their job, and they should be play calling. So when you go get an offensive guy, what is the OC doing? As a matter of fact, I've never known what Eric Bieniemy does for himself. Somehow Matt Nagy got out from under there and got an opportunity, but like Eric Bieniemy, did he end up getting a job for the Commanders or some bullshit at one point?
He went to the Commanders, and he was an offensive staff for the Bears, I think.
Yeah.
And now Kansas City hired him as the OC again. So
because they don't even need him, they're just doing that guy a favor. Andy Reid's an offensive guy, so it just it's a little odd. It's a little bit like, what is their real purpose? Like Josh McDaniels is an actual OC. I just found out that Vrabel brought him in when my buddy LT was talking to me. Hey, they're running the same playbook that the Patriots had with Tom Brady, and I was like, well, that would have to mean that McDaniels is there because that's his playbook. And I was like, holy shit, McDaniels is in New England again. I forgot. He's been there for so long. Of course, Mike Vrabel would bring him in and be like, yeah, we were pretty good when we had this kind of staff.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, I mean, that just goes to show you that some guys just belong. Josh McDaniels belongs he belongs in an OC seat. And I think he understands that now. Yeah, he's a total scumbag. Yeah. But he's good at it. He's good at being an offensive coordinator. He's good at creating plays, drawing up plays, and calling plays in crucial situations. He's just good at it. Mm-hmm. He can't lead worth a damn. He can't keep his word worth a damn. But he's a really good offensive coordinator. Robert Saleh is a very good defensive coordinator. Hell, even Jeff Happy is a good defensive coordinator. He doesn't need to be a head coach. I mean, he doesn't give me that vibe.
Now, it's ironic. Mentor is a defensive coordinator, but you get a different vibe from him with the Chargers. Yeah. You're kind of surprised he hasn't got a job yet.
Yeah, because of the umbrella that he's been under. He's been under the John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh umbrella for the better part of 5 or 6 years now. Mm-hmm. So I think, if you're under Jim Harbaugh, which Jim Harbaugh, former quarterback, and he is also a defensive guy. Like, he's kind of a best of both worlds kind of person. So he understands the offense, but he also understands the defensive side too, which that makes me to believe that I think if Mentor's going to get a job, it should be in Baltimore. I think that's where he should go, and that's where he would have the best chance. And I think that's Baltimore's best chance, is to bring in somebody like him. So, couple questionable hires the last couple days. Mm-hmm. A lot of it feels kind of like shotgun wedding. But
we don't know what to do. Like, some of these were like what you said a while back. You were like, oh, they're just hiring this guy because they're a year out from the one they want. And I'm like, man, that's what a lot of these feel like all of a sudden.
Like, it just feels like a placeholder. That's it. And it does happen. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think if I'm an NFL team, wait until the season is over. Wait until after the Super Bowl and all that stuff before you go just rushing into making a bad decision. because who knows, we could have somebody from the Seahawks staff or from Denver staff or the Rams staff come up and be like, okay, well, they made championship winning calls and they did a great job in these high pressure games in the NFC or AFC championship and then in the Super Bowl. You want to see somebody who can keep their composure in these high pressure situations. It's like, okay, that's the guy I want to try to pull away and make part of my team. Maybe we can learn and grow with someone like that instead of just saying, all right, well, this dude was a piece of shit. He won in 4 seasons, he wins 16 games, but then he goes and he's a defensive coordinator on a really good team, does a really good job. I want to bring him in as my head coach. So maybe we can win 17 games in 4 years and have an improvement.
There you go.
Shut up. Not it.
There was a good and positive note. Your boy Jay was right. Everybody, he said Harbaugh is going to the Giants. He felt it, and that's exactly what happened. He called it. I liked the Falcons, but of course they fucked up and hired Stefanski. So they want to be the Browns. Kudos to them, Browns. They were really good. So good job. Should have kept Morris, but that's fine.
I'd rather have him anyway.
Rather have him. And he's a defensive guy, but they are just, when you already have that established, they're not going to get better. Like, they didn't have a lot of problems on offense. Some things to tweak, but that defense probably is going to suffer under Stefanski, if I'm going to guess. He was very lucky that he had the Browns defense, and he couldn't figure out what to do ultimately with the offense of the Browns. No faith.
He had Jim Schwartz was leading that defense, and Jim Schwartz is, oh my God, top tier D coordinator. Jim Schwartz is.
That's true.
So he didn't have to worry about it.
So that's a good
maybe
point.
maybe he can talk Schwartz into coming down to Atlanta, but maybe that happens.
Whose offense is better, Atlanta's offense or the Browns? Well, Atlanta's. Is Stefanski really going to make them better than they've been? Like, is that really the belief? Like, well, we're going to be even better on offense.
The optics, maybe, because he has an offensive mind, and he did come in there and turn Cleveland around for 3 years. Now, you can look at it, he got coach of the years 2 times in 3 years, made the playoffs, got Cleveland the first playoff win in a long time. Now, he turned heads by doing that. I'm not ready to sit here and say that he's ultimately the reason or he's going to go to Atlanta and fail, because we know how trash the Browns organization is right now. They're just making bad move after bad move. But I think with the way he handled Shedeur, I just don't think that he should be a head coach right now.
No,
at all.
So.
I wouldn't have any trust in him and how he handled and did that whole shit. I mean, you should have just started him from the get-go. Like, I get it. If you want to give Gabriel a couple games just to see where he's at, fine. But don't taint the fucking gene pool, man. Yeah, he should have been in there from the get-go. You see how he played. They won a couple games.
Yeah. And he has that extra stuff. It's like, well, we can help you get better at throwing.
He got moxie.
We can help you read defenses better. It's the extra stuff you can't teach, and that's what he actually has. And I'm like, just get him out there. Start your process now. But it is what it is. The good positive, what we were talking about, was Harbaugh. I think it's really cool. One, he's running a team in New York. I think that's just like a cool mantra, because he was in Baltimore. His brother, San Fran. We had the Harbaugh Bowl. People got excited when they would see that. But I can make the argument that both scenarios now, it's more amped. They're still on opposite sides, but they've flipped conferences from way back. Now they're on the opposite sides. They're still not together in any conference or division. But now it's L.A., New York Harbaugh Bowl. Like, I'm like, yes. I like that. That's exciting to me. I would like to see a Chargers Giants, especially knowing that John is going to fix the things going on with the Giants. They're going to be competitive. I look at this the same way people might look at the Sean Payton for Denver. The exact same. John Harbaugh is going to come in, and if Sean Payton can fix Denver and get it all completely ready to go, and now they're where they're at and they're a game away, I expect John Harbaugh within a couple years to have the Giants in the playoffs and be in a really strong, solid team. So I love John Harbaugh, and I'm excited for the next Harbaugh Bowl, and I'm excited to see what he can do with he has a lot of good pieces on that team. He's already got a little head start.
Yeah, and that's why I thought he would have been the best fit there, because he's the longest tenured coach who's now on the market. And in New York, you have the youngest, probably most exciting team to be able to watch going into next season. Like, Malik Neighbors is the only question mark going into the beginning of next year, but he's going to be playing next year. It's just how
Yes.
long. Is he going to miss the first 4 games or 6 games? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's going to be on the field next year. So
Scatabo.
and now you got Scattaboo, Jackson Dart, you got Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, you got the defense there, who just the defense in New York just needs to be tweaked just a little bit.
I like
And
Theo
I think they'll be
Johnson.
their front line on the defense, top notch, about as good as you can get. Like you said, yeah, Theo Johnson's really good at tight end there. He's a good, solid piece. Now you just need to work on, Brian Burns at linebacker. Now you just need to kind of worry about your secondary a little bit, and who's really good at putting secondaries together. John
Well,
Harbaugh. He's had a
usually,
lot of good defenses under him.
honestly, it's been a bit of an issue these last couple years for Baltimore. But you get into
Yeah,
some salary cap restrictions and situations, and you're paying a quarterback, and it makes it a lot harder.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for
Well, they're
Harbaugh,
getting old too.
yeah, getting old, but I think he's going to be able to probably bring a Raven or two with him. That's usually how that goes. Could be a couple key guys. It looks like he's going to bring a batch of 5 to 8 guys in that could be a Baltimore guy or could be just a certain guy he's been eyeing, and he's going to draft some guys. And it's like that injection of Harbaugh talent that could be enough to. They were already doing this year was exciting. You might start to see more competitiveness, and you might be like at one point in the year, you might be like, you might be a playoff team this year. Like I can see that being the case because they got a lot of good stuff. I'm interested to see how the offense runs with the hard ball and with Dart, if they run him a lot or not. So like I'm just excited to see that, see how it unfolds.
Yeah, look, I start calling him Joe Dart.
I mean, he's had Lamar for so long. How many called runs is he gonna give Dart? Because Dart's obviously a very good runner as a quarterback, but you
Yeah,
don't want him to do that because
you don't want
Dart's
called
already having
runs.
some
Yeah,
concussion things going on. So like you need to
yeah,
protect him.
yeah.
So I'm curious.
I think he'll be used as a Joe Flacco with legs. I think it'll be basically pocket guy, but give him a lane to escape if he has to.
Just avoid what Lofa Tatupu. I think wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. As long as he can stay out of the fucking way of him, yeah, he'll be fine.
Because wasn't he the one that killed Joe Flacco
Yeah,
on his slide
you
one
gotta
year with Miami?
no. That was Kiko Alonso.
Kiko Alonso, that's who it was.
Yeah,
Lofa Tatupu was a
yeah,
Seahawk, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Stay away from Lufas and Kikos.
it'll be fine. Can't accord.
You'll be all right, bud.
All right. Was there any other coaching things that you had wrote down to discuss between the guys?
Well, just the fact that I think what was done to Sean McDermott needs to be studied, and I think that the NFL just hang with me for a minute. The NFL is in the middle of an identity problem and an image problem. What they're doing and what they are allowing is good coaches to be fired and to have mediocrity be rewarded.
This year feels egregious,
And
right? As far
it's
as the
the
change in the scenery.
2025 has been the worst. 10 coaches fired. And
Yeah.
we're just getting into the conference championships. There's already been 10 coaches fired, a couple positions filled,
And
but
the owner of Baltimore to say, "Oh, if John Harbaugh had won the game against Pittsburgh, how long would he have been there?" And he's like, "A week." And it's like, if you had beat Pittsburgh and
yeah.
won the division after the year you had,
Yeah.
you would have gave John Harbaugh the week, and as soon as they had lost, you were going to fire him. Like,
Yeah.
well, how disrespectful can you fucking be? Like
Yeah,
you said,
which
it's like
tells
a
you
pandemic on coaches.
yeah, which tells you he had his mind made. I mean, great, he's the owner of the team. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I mean, the NFL does have the power in the other owners to kind of be like, dude, what you're doing is not right. That's why Dan Snyder's not in Washington anymore.
That's not
You
the
know what
only
I mean? They
reason.
can. Well, I know that he's kind of a douchebag, but
No.
still, And you got poop pipes breaking in the stadium and everything. So I mean, there's other stuff
Hey,
going on to get rid of
let
the
me
guy.
read that email. No, no, you can't. You can't read this email.
Oh, you got boobies in there. But I mean, it just to have guys go in, interview, go through all that shit, have a press conference. This is our coach. We're going to sign him to a 3-year deal. But you give him one season. You get rid of these coaches after one season. It's like, God, this is it's trash.
We got guys in the comments on our videos talking about, well, if they know they don't have the right guy, no reason to keep going. And I'm just questioning, how could you know after 1 year? How
I get
could
that too. I
could
get
you
that.
sign him to the 3, like you said, and you're already
Yeah.
convinced after 1? And how can it continue? Like, it's actually more of a reflection of yourself and what you're doing, because like, how
Yeah.
can that keep happening over and over and over and over?
Yeah. Well, it's like if one season is going to tell you that you don't have the right guy, then you need to rewind about 10 months and ask better questions.
Do something
Seriously.
different.
Put these guys in a freaking pressure situation. Just be like, look, can you guarantee we're going to win a few games this year? Let's just say we're not looking for the playoffs. The Raiders could not have looked at this season and said, yeah, we're going to make the playoffs with Geno Smith as our quarterback. Okay, so Pete Carroll was not going to win. He was going to get fired. Then why have the interview? Why do you do that? Why do you constantly put your team behind the 8 ball every single year? Because you are inept at asking questions. You don't know how the interview process works. You don't know the questions to ask. You don't know what to look at. It's like, okay, make me a PowerPoint presentation on what you're going to do this season.
Yeah.
How are you going to attack this team and attack this season? What do you want to get out of it?
Like the draft process, so maybe they should look into that to some degree, to kind of innovate the interview coaching process to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the draft process, they'll put really unorthodox questions in there, or they will like hide money in a playbook and just prove if you've read it or not.
Yeah.
And they like get really like secretive to kind of just really define other character traits, right? It's like, get more creative with the coaches. Like, I don't even care if they come up with some kind of, all right, smash or pass, like just, and you just start going through a book of like tastes of women or men or whoever they're into, and just like do something different. Be unorthodox. Ask interesting questions that tells you their character or how they think or how they operate. Get different kind of feedback, because for some reason, when you're on the football side of the interview, you think you got it all. This is great 3-year deal. And then as soon as they operate that, you're like, oh no, this is awful. And it's like, well, is it the losing that's the problem? Because then did you take that in consideration when you were hiring that we won't win right away? Or was you really like, we're going to win 9 games automatic? It's going to happen. We're going to be a winning team. Because that's really stupid. It's really stupid to think that Pete Carroll could have won 9 games with the Raiders. Like that wasn't going to happen.
Do you really think coaching was the problem, or was it the roster?
Like,
or was it the fact that you traded away our number 1 wide receiver to a top 3 AFC team?
Right, because you didn't want to pay him because he was coming up for a contract. So, like, when the owners and even GMs, because GMs are making decisions too, when they look at their
GMs
roster,
are trash in this league right now.
When they look at this roster, like Chris Ballard, for example, looks at this roster. Sometimes the coaches stick around longer than with the Colts than they should. But usually it's because when they look at the roster, like, we have a pretty good roster. That's not the problem. We think we should be good. The rest of the media is also looking at the roster saying that the roster's pretty decent. It's in the middle somewhere. It's not like the worst. But who's saying that about the Raiders? Like, who's waking up in the morning going, I don't understand why we're losing. Like, where's the disconnect? Yeah. The roster's not very good. You're not going to win. Like, you're far away from winning right now. Like, I don't understand.
You have
who's telling you
have
you're
two
good?
Yeah, you have 2 top tier players. You have Brock Bowers and you have Max Crosby, and that's it.
You don't have any other even close to studs. Like,
no,
I don't even know
your quarterback is mediocre.
Yeah.
Running back is okay. Janty's going to be good.
Like,
but
if those guys were out
your wide
game,
receivers
who's
are
the best
bad.
player on your team? Like, if they were both injured, a little banged up, they're having some knee contusions, so they're going to sit out a game that particular week, who is talked about in the breakdown going into the game and like shown as the impact player? Who would it be?
Janty.
He's a fucking rookie.
Yeah, and that tells you how bad the organization is.
Like how?
So
Come on.
you can't sit there and blame him for everything.
No.
Granted, they looked really, really bad, but the roster was bad even when he got there.
You're a ways away.
So, and you're only going to give him 6 months,
Yeah.
7 months to try to turn that around. It's like, no, dude, this is a multi-year project.
Mm-hmm.
You got to either let him see his vision through or don't hire the son of a bitch. If you know you're going to make a change at the end of the year, if one thing or two things don't go your way.
When you only do 1 year, you can't show whether you're making progress or not under any regime because they only put one stamp in the book. You need to see what the second stamp shows to know whether we're making progress or not. Because when you change regimes every time, the records and what they are changing to, well, this year was 3-15, this year, you're still an unclear representation of where you're at in your process because you keep changing too many things every year.
Yeah.
You have to have some continuity.
Just think out back in the medieval times, if there's a new king every 8 months, that's not a civilization, man. That's just it's chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just chaos. Who the hell's the king now? Hell, I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to sit here and drink my mead.
All right. Well, I think that's just about it. We'll end the show on a little bit of a high note because, again, go Hoosiers. The little brother was entered the transfer portal today, and he has already made a decision that he is going to be signing Alberto Mendoza to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
So good luck, little brother.
Good luck to him.
Good luck, little brother.
I hope to see him play and have a good deal. He obviously knew that Hoover's coming in, and so he's going to need a new opportunity. I'm happy to see him go to a decent conference and not in such a high level one where Georgia Tech was good this year. So if he can compete for a coaching or a quarterback job over this season or the following season, that's awesome. So kudos to the little brother getting an opportunity possibly.
Good luck.
So yeah.
I hope he can write his own book like Big Brother did. I would like that. That whole the whole family is just a family you want to root for. Yes. From parents, siblings, just a very good family, and you don't want anything but good things for them.
They seem very kind and genuine. Maybe they aren't. Of course, you never, you meet your heroes type thing, but you gotta call it how it is. They look very nice, genuine. And
they sacrifice rabbits in the backyard, brother.
Oh no.
No.
But Georgia Tech was good this year, and they haven't been all that good fairly recently. They were good this year, so
they tapered off at the end.
He goes in there. You never know. He could have himself a little Cinderella story. He could compete with Miami. Yeah. How interesting would that be? So we already got Perry.
Interesting. So
it's great. College football is where it's at. Yep. I have been turned. So
it only took me 15 years,
something like that. And to be fair, the fact that we're so transparent and in our face of Arch Manning's making $8 million, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm really glad that I know that because I'm like, why did you pick Texas or something? Dude, Quinn Ewers is there. I would have to wonder and quality of the game and all that. But now that and how I still think they got to clean up the portal, but just understanding it from a different prospect and the feeling of new players and new vibes. And it's next year we're going to have new teams with new, oh shit, these guys are really good. And that's good. That's good because the NFL, the monotony of the same fucking teams every year. And for college football to have done that for so long with the SEC, and now you're getting a new one and a new one and a new one, even though it's the same conference. And watch out for Iowa, or you never know. It could be anybody. That's how it feels. And that's
can be
awesome.
Anyone. Yeah. So. I like it. It's the Big Ten, man. It's a new era.
And it gives your
SEC's got some catching up to do.
It gives your own team where you feel like a chance every year. We all feel like the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Next year, I'm feeling. No. Well, I'm serious when you think about it. Next year, I feel good about the Hoosiers. I'm let's see what we can do next year. Maybe we can go and undefeated or lose one game going into the conferences and the championships and the CFP. Let's see how good we can be. And I'm curious. And you're sure you with being Michigan, you feel the same way. let's see what we have with Underwood next year. We got a new coach, and let's see what kind of we get on stride and we get some rhythm and things. Like it feels that way with 40, 50, 60 colleges probably that feel like maybe this year we get some real rhythm and we push the program forward. And that's not the same in the NFL. And it's really only in college football and even basketball that you can feel like that amount of hope, almost like not like proper hope instead of that bullshit cowboy hope, like real hope. It's garnered with
Yeah.
actual statistics or it makes sense to people. Like,
Well, you have my permission. If I ever feel like a Cowboys fan, you have my permission to take me out and make me look at the flowers.
the difference with it, obviously, is we all know that it might not work out, but we feel like
Hope.
could.
Hope and faith, man. Just follow it and just root for the best.
Yep, we shall see. Does IU play Michigan next year?
Yes, they do.
That's right.
At
That's
Michigan.
right. Michigan plays all the top teams in the 10 next year. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
thank you.
fun. It's gonna be
No, it
fun.
ain't.
This is what happens
It's
when
not gonna
you
be
win the
fun. I'm probably gonna have a stroke sometime next year,
when you
early
win
in November.
when you win the title. The next couple seasons, probably schedule's probably a little harder than you would like, and you guys won. So now IU may start to have a couple hard schedules coming up. We shall see.
We shall.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and until then, we'll see you next time.